Madam, I'm a first-time member of Parliament, and I'm really grateful that my first speech is on education itself. Madam, the vision of the Prime Minister recognizes that education must be amongst the foremost pillars in order to build this Viksit Bharat. Post-independence, for reasons best known to those in power at the time, we continued to persist in the submissive system that was incorporated during the British Raj. And that same system was strengthened until, of course, we had a complete transformation and overhaul with the new education policy in 2020. With this overhaul, we've had a rekindling of the creative spirit in Indian children. We've had our own interests and passions set free. And most importantly, we've been allowed to move on to the path of knowledge, which is a central tenet of the Bharatiya principle, the Jnana Marga. Alongside this, it is extremely laudable that the global goals that we also have, understanding that we are within the global community as well, is something that we are also aspiring to with the UN Sustainable Development Goals of ensuring quality and equitable education for all. Madam, the demand for grants reflects these, especially in the increased spending on education. Since 2014, we've had an increased allocation of around 4.7%, which, and in this year particularly, is an approximately 7% increase. 73,000 crores being spent on school education, 47,619 crores being spent on higher education. Madam, the demand for grants reflects a further strengthening of the transforming Indian education system, an emphasis on skill-based learning, a much-needed technology-driven teaching environment, and an increased investments in the school education system. It promises a robust system that will power future generations and build successful careers fulfilling their aspirations. Madam, it's a universal truth that education is a bulwark against perpetuation of poverty amongst weaker sections of society. And in this matter, the huge impetus given to accessibility to education is something that we must really praise. The Uchchatra Shikshan Protsahan Yojan, the specific mention within the budget of 10 lakhs for helping youth who do not qualify for any other government schemes and policy is an enduring central principle of this government's policy. Alongside this, we know the huge push towards improving infrastructure and quality in schools. In the last 10 years itself, we've seen the number of universities go up from 400 to 1,100. And this budget as well furthers that same ideal. The PM Shri, that is the Schools for Rising India, the National Mission in Education through ICT, the Malviya Mission Teacher Program, all of which contribute towards enhancing quality through technology-based learning, have been given a huge push. The Samagra Shiksha Program, the addition to the world-class institutions of nearly 500 crores and the central universities' increased spending is reflective of our continued push towards building a robust infrastructure to back up our educational needs. Madam, something that is very important, especially from my constituency within Mysore, is the need for this fostering of a spirit of innovation. And in this matter, it is indeed endearing that the research and innovation initiatives have seen a marked increase from 193 crores to 355 crores. Alongside this, Centers for Excellence in Artificial Intelligence, a promotion of academic and research collaboration, and the grants to multidisciplinary education, research and technical education all have received huge push, which is indeed much more enduring as well. Madam, this last point is not particularly a part of the Ministry of Education, but is nonetheless very much important because we have finally seen a shift in the perspective in which education needs to be seen from the moment we enter the education system all the way to the point in which we start our careers. Finally, we are looking at it as a continuum, and that is indeed laudable, and that budget now reflects that as well through to giving us internships in the top 500 companies, as well as the Prime Minister's package for employment, as well as skilling. Madam, I represent the Mysore and Kodagu constituency. Mysore as a city has many legacy educational institutions and has made a name for itself in modern times as well as an educational hub. The city, however, I think aspires to greater contributions, and we require many more economic drivers. So my kind submission to the Minister for Education is to set up a triple IT in Mysore. This will ensure that the educational base for fostering IT hub that Mysore has a potential to become will see be true. Madam, I also represent Kodagu, and Kodagu University is one of the newer universities in our state. Given the many climatic events, some that we've seen with our brothers and sisters in Kerala as well, which have created tragedies there, the university being in Kushal Nagar can serve as a center for ensuring that climate-related, climate-resilient crops, climate-resilient infrastructure can be researched and developed there as well in Kodagu University. And it being at the doorstep of the Western Ghats, it is, I think, natural that it should be there. Madam, with this, I conclude my address on the discussion. I thank once again you for giving me this time.
माननीय सदस्य श्री राजकुमार रोत जी।
महोदय, आपने शिक्षा विभाग पर महत्वपूर्ण विषय पर बोलने का अवसर प्रदान किया, इसलिए आपको खूब खूब धन्यवाद। देश के जो अंदर जो शिक्षा के जो हाल हैं, वर्तमान जो परिस्थिति में जिस तरह से देश